Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype. It's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us during our off-season portion of the program. Yes, we will be doing this program every week, with the exception of Christmas Day and New Year's Day between now and a year from now. How's that? Those are the only 2 days we're taking off. Glad you could join us. Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three partners, starting with Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. Good morning, Eddie.
Just glad to be with you today, Todd.
It's kind of nice to be anywhere, isn't it? And our other two long-standing partners, Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin. Hey, bud.
Hey, good morning. First week of the off season, and there's still plenty to talk about. Looks like it's going to go pretty quick.
Yeah, it seems like it always does. Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hey, man.
Yeah, I look out my window, and I swear we should be getting ready for the Bud Shootout because it's fully covered in snow and 13 degrees out, which is what we'd have in the middle of February. But no, this is only November.
Oh, and well, just be happy you don't live in Buffalo.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
A suburb of Buffalo got 77 inches.
I don't even know how you move something like that. I don't even know. That'd be a nightmare.
They're posting videos of people opening their garage doors to snow all the way up to the top. I laugh. It's easy for me to do, but if you'd like to participate, the number hasn't changed. 414-421-7901. There was a race last night. It was a late model stock car race in Florence, South Carolina. I wouldn't have brought it up. It's called the South Carolina 400. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not just participated in the race, but he by merely telling the general public that he was going to race, turned it into an event and got himself a nice car with a nice sponsor and was pretty competitive too. Came from the back to the front a couple of times. Got involved in a couple things. One wasn't. One was his fault. Either way, he got moved to the back a couple of times, and at least they were fair about dealing with Dale Earnhardt Jr., not so much some of the other drivers in the event. But turns out after 400 laps, Brendan Butterbean Queen.
How old was that guy? How old was he?
I don't know. Not that old.
I'd say he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought the one kid that crashed was 12 years old. So
he's driving a Lee Pulliam car, and if you know anything about late model stocks, Lee Pulliam, they're one of the top dogs in that series, along with Junior Motorsports. The car Junior was driving was one of his own. Basically, he's the teammate to Carson Kvapil. So they have some really good equipment there. That's some entertaining stuff. Those late model stocks.
Yeah, they put on a good race.
Yeah, they go from the front to the back. I believe, Ed, right, they're a heavier car than a super late model, so they run a little different, and tire management is a much bigger deal, I believe.
Less horsepower.
Less horsepower, yeah.
Speaking of Carson Kvapil, he was there and finished second in the race. Had a couple of shots at the end. It seemed to me he was didn't quite get the restarts that he wanted to. A couple of times, and he had a shot. He definitely had a shot, but this Butterbean dude got around him. And I wish I had all the names of everyone in front of me, but I don't. But the incident that the guys just alluded to, there was a 12-year-old kid in one of these cars, and he ended up being in the middle of a 3-wide thing, and a guy I don't know, did he push that guy off the track? Didn't really seem like he did. The guy he should have backed out if he was smart, but he stayed out there, ended up going off the track and got mad about it. So he comes back in and turns this kid who he had no idea was 12 years old, which really seriously, do we need 12-year-olds in a field like this? I don't think that's the case. But he turned this kid into the inside wall, and he was just a little kid. Dad came over and lifted the kid out of the, over the wall and took him back. And when the guy was told, you just dumped a 12-year-old, I think he felt so guilty. He just pulled in the garage and got out of the car and said, I was going to the back anyway. I didn't know he was 12. I just took myself out of the race. Oh, geez. Just nuts.
Yeah, but hope the kid doesn't have a headache today.
Yeah. No. The big thing that happened in that race, though, was the Sam Yarbrough was a guy that runs down there in South Carolina quite a bit, and one of the top guys. He was leading most of the race, and I think Mason Diaz was the guy in the 22 car. Those two are probably the class of the field as far as towards the end there, and they got together late in the race where Diaz kind of pushed Yarbrough up the track and half spun. He didn't spin all the way, but they threw a quick yellow because they thought he was going around in front of the field. And then during the caution, the driver of that 95 car, which was Yarbrough, wanted to get his spot back, which he shouldn't have. He was the cause of the yellow. I think both guys should have went to the back, but the officials were kind of weak there, and they let that guy stay up there, and they let him keep his spot. Which, of course, they go back green, and what's going to happen? He's going to dump the guy who just ran him off the track. We all knew it, and he did it again. He had the chance of wrecking more cars. I'm really shocked that both those guys didn't go to the back at that point, and that kind of turned the whole event into kind of a mess.
That 22 car is the one Ty Majeski drove the last couple of years, isn't it?
Yeah, that was Chad Bryant's car.
Okay, and won it the last couple of years. But he didn't go this year. He's getting ready to go to this 417 race, which is coming up this coming weekend. It's the last ever Billy Bigley Memorial at the 417 Speedway. They are going to, just go out of business and turn it over to the state, or it's going to be another track that's just going away completely?
I think they wanted an entertainment complex there, right? They had a town meeting or something, and it didn't go away. The people they wanted to get the land didn't get the land. The other group that wants to turn it into an entertainment complex ended up getting it.
Will that be late models or super lates?
Super lates next week.
Okay.
Yeah. They started 42 cars on that 4/10 mile track last night in Florence, South Carolina. That's 42 cars.
Yeah.
So Isabella Robusto finished third. I think she's a teenage girl. Kept her nose clean and car ran real well and finished third. That was pretty cool. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ended up finishing ninth.
And really was very entertaining to watch. He passed more cars than probably anybody else.
He looked like his dad out there.
Yeah. The side body slams did anyway, but yeah, it overall wasn't a bad race. After 400 laps of that, and like Brian said, tire management is a pretty big deal. How many tires did they give those guys? Do you even know? Do we even know?
I think they only changed the two tires at your one break. There was
50 laps to go. They had a break, right?
Yeah, when they came in. There was a guy that came in that said he had a tire going down. I remember at one portion of the race, came in, they changed it. The officials looked at the tire and said, not enough. Your tire wasn't going down enough, and he was parked. So tires are such a big deal, especially at that track. That track is very abrasive. This race used to be held at Myrtle Beach for many, many years. That was the main event. And when Myrtle Beach closed 3 years ago, they moved it to this racetrack, and that's where they run it now. But it's like racing on sandpaper. So it's all about tire management. So it's a really good learning experience for kids running these. Matthew Craig is another guy that runs super lates quite a bit. He finished fifth. So there's a lot of different names in here that you see. Landon Pemberton, he's a guy that just ran the ARCA race a couple weeks ago at Phoenix. Yeah, he finished 13th. So there's some names in there that you see, but those, late model stocks, it's all about tire management with those cars.
Florence Speedway Tire Management University.
It was a 6-tire event, thanks to Aaron Baird letting us know. 6 tires, four right sides, 2 lefts.
All right. Well, 6 tires doesn't seem like a hell of a lot. Yeah. The racing, at the end of the day, it's, you say to yourself, did you like the racing? It was really good, I thought. It did have side-by-side racing, although, as is the case much of the time, one lane was better than the other one. And, if the best thing you could do is try to get low as quickly as you could. And, sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does, but it was a pretty good event last night. If you want to watch it, what was it on? Oh, Flow Sports. and it'll be replayed. We'll be back.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your season pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com. Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Pride.
For 3, left side. Thank you very much.
Excellence.
Yes, it counts. And a foul.
Commitment.
Drops the hammer. Thank you and good night.
For Badgers, they're not just words. They're words to live by.
It's over. Let's have a party, Badger Nation.
Head coach Greg Gard and the Badgers hit the hardwood right here all season long. This is your radio home for Wisconsin Badger basketball. The Badger Sports Network from Learfield.
Thanks to Aaron Baird, who reminded us that it was a 200-lap feature. They called it the South Carolina 400 because of all the different divisions. All their features added up to 400 laps, so it was a 200-lapper. Still, you had 150 laps before you could take tires on a competition caution with about 50 laps to go. Kind of crazy. Big news this week, and one that we didn't really see coming, although you knew it was out there. We knew Ryan Preece was, under the umbrella of Stewart Haas Racing, and we knew that he was in the bullpen warming up all season long. And we kind of thought right from the beginning that he was going to take over for the Cuban Missile Crisis because he was supposedly going to retire and spend more time with his family, and we weren't going to hear from Eric Almirola anymore. But then he got a 2-year extension from the Chinese meat people, Smithfield, who said, yeah, we'll give you 2 more years. So he said, I changed my mind. I don't care about my family anymore. I'm going to race 2 more years. So Ryan Preece was kind of, what did he do? He ran a couple of truck races and did rather well, right? He was in an Xfinity race, too.
Yeah, he ran the trucks for David Gilliland. Won the last 2 years at Nashville in his 2 appearances in that truck. So he did really well with that.
He is a likable young man for many reasons, one of which he's a hell of a race car driver. And he had some money, not much, but he rented a good ride so that if he wasn't going to have enough to be good on a long-term deal, he could at least make an impact when he came in. This was a couple of years ago. And he rented one of Gibbs' cars, right, Dan? I'm pretty sure it was a Gibbs car, the 18, as a matter of fact. And he won in the thing, right?
Right, and he ran really well in the few races he had on that, which kind of got him on the radar. He got a cup ride with the JTG Doherty team. Remember, they used to have 2 cars. They had 37 and 47.
Mm-hmm.
And for a year, and then that went away, and he kind of left out in the cold, and that's when he went over to Stewart-Haas, taking this kind of a reduced schedule for a year with the intention of he'd be back in Cup full time with a decent ride, and it's going to finally pay off.
Actually, I don't even know if they guaranteed him any of that. They just said, if you want to sign with us, there are some possibilities, but nothing nothing concrete. So, well, who saw the boss's kid getting demoted? Joe Custer is the director of competition or something like that, a vice president of competition for Stewart-Haas Racing. This is his kid in that car. And, he hasn't finished in the top 7. Did I see that right? Or he had one top 7 or something all year. I mean, he really was bad. And I didn't even think about it that was already 2 years ago that he had a win and a couple of top 5s and hasn't done anything since. And you say to yourself, well, who has done very much in a Stewart-Haas ride? Well, you're right about that. Their win total has gone way down. So what is the problem? Well, a saint on this program many years ago told us 80% of the deal is what climbs in through the window. And, I hate to say it, but Cole Custer just wasn't getting the job done. Now, the other 3 drivers, Almirola didn't win, but he ran up front. How about this? If you run up front, you're going to put your sponsor on television. And, if you don't run up front, you're forgotten about in a hurry. And Cole Custer just didn't run up front.
I mean, the sponsor in that car is pretty much Haas, right?
It is.
So, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, Almirola's got the sponsor money to back him up, so he can have a little bit of a safety net there. And I think it's about time. I mean, 2 years now, Cole Custer wasn't bad. Cole Custer wasn't good. He was just kind of okay. He got one win. I agree with Stewart. Just give Priest a shot and put Custer back in the Xfinity Series where he excelled. I mean, he was a champion there. He's probably going to win a ton of races next year there and maybe get his confidence back that way too.
And, this is going to help. I think this will help Stewart-Haas. I mean, we can knock on Stewart-Haas all we want, but they came within a whisper of having a car in the Final Four. If you think about it, Chase Briscoe was right there. Kevin Harvick won 2 in a row back in August. Kind of got excused early in the playoffs, with some bad luck at the end. So Stewart-Haas is on the tipping point there of being, really good and not. So maybe now you get someone like Priest in there who can give really good feedback. He can work together with Briscoe and Harvick and maybe with Almirola also and give some good feedback and get these cars running back up front again. I just think Cole was in over his head from the start. And then he had that excuse me victory at Kentucky, back in 2020. And that was, really, he ran well enough to win that race, but that really wasn't I would say a legit, rock solid victory.
He didn't run up front consistently.
No, he didn't. So now I think if you get Priest in there who has a lot of, good knowledge, has been racing a lot, he's a true racer in there, and you get all these guys together, maybe they can get themselves back to the front again. And I think that's what the plan is, and I think that's what Stewart sees. If you read the things here, it sounds like, it was kind of a battle between Stewart and
Haas.
And then Haas to try to say which you want to do it. And Gene Haas wanted his, partner's kid in there yet, and Stewart's like, come on, I think we need to get ourselves running up front. And, give Stewart credit for sticking to his guns, and they hired Priest. And that's another thing you can think about. Another fold to this is, was Ryan Priest maybe getting offers from other teams? And it was a deal where Ryan Priest says, hey, are you going to put me in a car, or am I just going to hang out here and run, 3 or 4 races a year? Because I got offers to run full-time stuff somewhere else. We don't know.
He did, but it wasn't Cup stuff. He got a truck and an Xfinity offer, and he told those guys, thank you, but I'm going to wait and see what happens here at Stewart-Haas, which turns out was a pretty damn good thing to do, don't you?
I'd like to see that conversation between Haas, Custer, and Stewart figure it out. I wonder how intense it got,
Well,
and then look at Cole Custer's career. I think this will help him because if you remember, back in the day when he was a full-time Xfinity driver, he was rock solid in that Xfinity series. I mean, he was really close to winning a championship with those cars. So I think you put him back there. Riley Herbst has been floundering around for the last 2 years in the Xfinity series. He really hasn't done anything. Maybe you get Cole Custer back there, starts helping Riley, maybe Riley will get his act together, and maybe he'll get himself running up front consistently as well, because that was a front-running car every single week when Cole Custer was in it, and it has not been with Riley Herbst.
And a good Ford in the Xfinity series, too. They're really hurting in Xfinity.
Well, that's it. They got the Stuart Haas car. They'll have two now, and Bobby Dotter's team was a Ford this year. We'll see if that is again next year. But another good point is Custer's only 24.
Right, yeah. He's got a long career at home.
He does. And, good for all of them that they made a choice like that. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
You don't like Aaron Rodgers. No, I don't like some qualities about him. I think he's a great quarterback. I don't know what they do well. This young wide receiver group, we said this before the season. I don't think Aaron, single guy getting close to 40, he's not built for this group. It's not his personality fit.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
We told you it was going to be number 54. It was announced this week. Ty Gibbs goes to the Cup Series, will not drive the number 18 car. He will be driving number 54. They take number 15 and put it on, number 18 and put it on hold, just as exactly like Hendrick Motorsports has number 25 put on hold. It's for miscellaneous usage. How's that? What is that? We don't know what they're going to use it for yet. I guess they're going to keep it for the Xfinity series, all right, Dan?
Sounds like it. I mean, it sounds like Sammy Smith is probably going to go over there on the Xfinity side in the 18. We'll see how their lineup comes there, too, because they got cars to fill that way. They're going to lose Brandon Jones over to Junior Motorsports. That was in the 19 car last year. And they got the 54. Ty Gibbs is moving up to the Cup Series. So they may have some room on the Xfinity side to put some Toyota guys in there, because there's not many spaces for Toyota drivers to go. They when Kyle Busch left and took the trucks away, that was their kind of feeder series that way to get up to the Cup level.
It's funny that number 54, he wanted his own identity, the young man did, and that's fine. But the number 54 came from Kyle Busch when he put that number on a Kyle Busch Motorsports. It was a truck, I think, wasn't it, guys?
Might have been an Xfinity car, I think.
I think that was his Xfinity. He always had the 51 in the trucks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. So it was a Kyle Busch.
Oh.
It's all one big Gibbs umbrella over there anyway. What's interesting is that the crew chief from the 18 car, guy's name was Ben Bayshore. He's been with Kyle Busch the last couple of years. He is being instantly replaced by Chris Hale, who is coming to the Cup Series along with Ty Gibbs. They obviously work very well together. No word on what happens to Ben Bayshore. Are they going to put him in a closet like they do over at Hendrick Motorsports and give him some sort of title and he'll help out in the garage? seems like a waste of talent, but you certainly can take nothing away from the job Chris Gale has done with Ty Gibbs, and it's a perfect idea to bring both of them up.
I think it's gonna depend upon what they do on their Xfinity side, because now you have all these open seats there. If you look at the Truck Series, Chandler Smith already is going to go run with the Colleague Motorsports car, so that's one of your Toyota development drivers that is not going that direction. John Hunter Nemechek is the guy that I guess is floating around there. What are they going to do with him? Where is he going to go? There's talk maybe that he would go and run a Gibbs, Xfinity car. He did fill in several times or ran for them several times this past season, doing pretty well. And then you got to look. A couple of years ago we had all these Toyota drivers all over the place, and now you sit there and there's open rides, and you scratch your head and go, who?
It's amazing. And just like you said, Brian, where did it happen? Where did they all go? What happened to that fantastic Toyota pipeline? Well, part of it just went over to Chevrolet over at Childress too. Keep that in mind. So
you got the ThorSport guys. You got Christian Eckes and you got Ben Rhodes. I don't know if they're something that you would look at moving up eventually. It kind of seems like Rhodes found a home and just going to stay in the Truck Series. Eckes, I don't know if he's ready to move up to the Xfinity Series. Is that something that Gibbs is going to want to do? Gibbs always wanted to kind of bring his own guys up from the bottom up. Now you're looking at bringing them over from ThorSport. Is that something you're going to look at doing in the future? I don't know, but here we are now. You're 2 weeks away from December, and Joe Gibbs has only Sammy Smith in the Xfinity Series. You think you'd want to start building your program here for 2023 if that's what you're going to do, and you're going to go forward with 3 teams.
Good point. No doubt. Ed, during the break, you said, I have a suggestion that will improve racing in NASCAR next year. I can't wait to hear what that is.
Well, they've cut all this practice time down, and they've been so anal about letting the teams get the information from the car being transferred to the pits. Mm-hmm. If they would loosen up on that, I was watching Formula One this morning. They have 250 sensors that flow off the car to the factory and to the teams. Now, if NASCAR would loosen up their hold on getting data off these cars during the short 10-minute practice session, such as shock travel, all kinds of things that they could allow them to get off these cars like they do in a test, it would definitely improve the racing because it would give them better ideas and feedback on how to make the car run faster.
That sure makes a lot of sense. What would it take for, why wouldn't they just leave the sensors on the car in the race? Yes, we tried to keep it simple over the years. We also had 5 lug nuts years ago. So
right.
things change.
There's right. And taking away all the old adjustments from these cars, if they would loosen up on that data and allow the teams to gather it up from the cars, it would just make the racing better because the engineers, they would be able to interpret it and make these cars handle better.
But I think that goes back to not every team. Does every single team in the garage area have that availability?
Oh, hell yeah.
You think you think Rick Ware and those guys have all that stuff too?
Sure. It's not that expensive. It's all in the computer. They just don't allow you to pull it out of the computer. Every system in every car is identical. And all that data is in the computers, but they just don't allow the teams to gather it off the car during practice and racing.
Ed, what is the reason for that? Just to keep it simple?
Right. It used to be in the past so that you didn't hire all these high-buck engineers to interpret the data. But, it's a no-brainer. They need to do that to allow these teams to make these cars better.
Unbelievable. Well,
you really got a big problem with your mic cord, Todd.
I don't know what I don't know why that is, and I apologize for it. But it sure would be a great suggestion, Ed. Who can we call and give them your suggestion?
How about Larry McReynolds? We'll have him on next week.
Oh, would that be a treat? Larry Mack. Next week. You heard it here.
That's a tease is what you call. That's a tease.
It's a definite tease. Yeah, well, that's the way teases go sometimes. So we want to not only remind you that next week Larry McReynolds has agreed to be on the program. Sometimes schedules don't meet up, but he's a good guy. He's an honorable guy, and he said he would do it. And damn it, we're kind of counting on him to do that. Do you realize 30 years ago this week, Alan Kowicki won his championship? 30 years. We'll be back.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
We're getting back into it. It's going to be really hard for the Packers to make the playoffs. That's what it's going to be really hard to do. They are done. And have a nice evening. We appreciate you. And that'll go ahead and wrap things up there for the Green Bay Packers.
Might finish last.
Who look awful.
Two Pros. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe. Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Sorry about the technical issues. Hope we got it cleared up. Never know. NASCAR, as we know, their TV contract is going to end after the next season. So in 24, we're going to be looking at a new television contract. And the word came out, I don't know if it's a rumor or they spreading the rumor or what it is. NASCAR wants a 10 to 15% increase in their next television contract. And to that, I say, if you could show a 10 to 15% increase in viewership, perhaps you would deserve a 10 to 15% increase in your contract. But it's gone the other way. They're working on it. It's coming back slowly. But, what the hell makes you think that this TV contract is going to be worth that much more money? How much was it, the last one, Dan?
It was like $820 or $856 million or something like that, $850 million a year. It's a lot. It was a 10-year deal, right? And they said it was like an $8 billion deal, so it's like $800 million a year. And now they want to increase that to like $950 million a year. I mean, we're talking.
And they already own half the tracks that get all that revenue.
Oh, that's how they divide it up. I like you said, I don't know how can you ask that without. I mean, when you sign this deal, it was at the high point in the sport. Everything was going on. The attendance was going crazy. It was going off the charts, and it kind of regressed from that now. So I mean, it's coming back, like you said, but it's not at the point it was when you signed this deal 10 years ago. I don't know how sports negotiations work with networks. I'm not sure what the NFL charges. I'm sure they get $1 billion, but
yeah, but they have the viewers,
right? And they deliver the ratings for it too. So. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they have to have a heck of a negotiator to pull it off. They can do it great.
And there might be a little bit of this to go with. Okay, so as we know, Fox is the one that really pushed for the Coliseum deal. Fox wanted a big splash. They wanted something special, so they convinced them to do the Coliseum. NBC wanted their big splash. They're convincing them to go to Chicago. So maybe, I'm just looking at it from NASCAR side, they're going, okay, guys, if you want us to go out and do all this extra stuff, like rebuild the Coliseum, like rebuild downtown Chicago, then you're going to have to give us more money. And I'm thinking maybe that's part of this negotiation where they said, all right, this is going to cost a lot of money to do this stuff. I mean, think about the millions it costs to reconfigure the Coliseum, what it's going to cost them to get downtown Chicago and have that thing all locked up, and especially if the people in Chicago don't like it and are going to demand more money. So just looking at it from NASCAR's side, I'm guessing maybe that is where they're asking for this extra money. If you guys want us to do all this stuff outside of what we normally have for racetracks, then you're going to have to pay us. Just thinking outside the box.
Think about where we are in the history of televised motorsports, we are seeing more and more streaming coming. Now, you think to yourself, how much money can you spend on streaming? Here's a perfect example. The NASCAR Awards Banquet is coming up this week on the 1st, okay, December 1st. All three banquets are going to be in Nashville, or it's going to be one big banquet with all three major series at the same banquet. They're going to record it, and they're going to show it on Peacock on the 3rd of December. Okay, it's not even going to be live, and you're not going to be able to watch it on TV if you don't have... Now, there's two different Peacocks, Ed. I know one of them is free, and one of them is relatively inexpensive at like $5 a month, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there were different ones.
Yeah, there's levels.
But like you said, I mean, the banquet itself is your champion. That was always the part of the championship was getting that and watching that speech and being a part of that. You know, I remember I religiously watched that thing, especially like when Alan won or when Matt won, as the guys you knew we wanted to see with their speeches and stuff. And now it's kind of just faded away, like the luster isn't there. You know?
And when they record it like they're going to do, it's going to take away all the fun things that made a live broadcast so great. And they're going to trim it all out. And if a guy said something inappropriate, that'll be trimmed out. I'm sure if they got a host who's said some sort of joke that didn't go over, we used to see those, and they used to make people very uncomfortable. That'll all be trimmed out now. So we'll see what they want us to see when they want us to see it, if you want to watch it. And it's going to be
and that's the
2
real,
days later.
And that's the real head scratcher about streaming. I mean, the glorious part about streaming is you can watch it whenever you want, and you don't have to worry about running over time. You don't have to worry about another program coming on. So the fact that they don't want to just put that thing on Peacock and just have a couple cameras there and just let it roll makes you think to yourself, boy, they really want to control what's coming out of there. And that's kind of sad because, you know, you always got to see the real, like Dan said, you always got to see the real people behind the scenes, and you see them celebrate this. But NBC doesn't want that, and I guess that's very disconcerting. They're so worried about what's going to come out of there, they don't want you to see it all.
Remember when Jay Moore was the comedian there?
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah, remember? I see
Talk
Dan
about uncomfortable.
Or Brian France.
Yeah, Brian France sweating profusely through his jacket.
But even his speeches, you know, even
coming up and giving it. What did he throw the ring at somebody one time?
Truex just handed it to him and walked away. And that was it.
Here's your ring. I got to get back to the bar.
Remember, I mean, even the speeches too. I mean, and Ricky Rudd, Alan had his comb. People gave him stuff that time, and Rudd brought Allison a crying towel or something once, and he got black flagged at Sonoma. There's different things that way.
Dale Earnhardt with his glass of milk.
Or the famous
glass
one.
of milk toast.
Yep. That's right. I was just going to say the famous one is the milk of toast. Yes, Todd.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, all those moments. Will they keep them? Will they allow it? You know, come on.
Yes, it isn't surprising with NBC holding the card. I mean, you know, NBC's back history. I guess it's not surprising, but it is unfortunate given the streaming platform that you're not allowing that to happen.
Speaking of Brian France, make sure that you look up on YouTube the Dale Jr. download for this week with Brian France. Now, they don't show the whole thing. Brian, how do you get the whole thing if you want to watch the whole two plus hours?
You can't watch it all. You can listen to it because it is the Dale Jr. download. So I listened to it. It's 2 hours and 24 minutes. You just go to Dirty Mo Media and you look for it, and I just put it on my phone and put some earbuds in when I was doing some work the other day, and I listened to the whole thing. And it's 2 hours and 24 minutes. There's no breaks. I mean, they just go through the whole thing. Now, it's nothing. If you're looking for a lot of juicy stuff in there, you know, they were pretty good with him. I mean, it was a really good conversation. It kept you engaged the whole time. But they basically go through Brian France from the beginning of his life all the way to where he is now. And just go through everything. They talk about all the things. Dale Jr. gives his opinions on some of the stuff. You know, Brian is very engaged with it. He agrees a lot. He agrees that the COT car from back in the mid-2000s was a mistake, you know, and stuff like that. They talk about everything. The most interesting thing I got out of it was, you know, Brian France, he has no plans of getting back into the business at all. He doesn't want anything to do with racing again, really. I mean, he shows up. He comes to the Daytona 500. He pops in. He talks to them. But he's got his own company called Silver Falcon Capital, which is interesting. He has restaurants. It's called the Summerbird. It's like a chicken, kind of a spinoff of Chick-fil-A that they have in the Carolina area. He has got a bunch of those restaurants. He's going to have this Wagwell, it's called. It's pet supplies, online pet supply store. So that's a big business that he's got going on. And he does a lot of private equity stuff. So guys, business type stuff. So it's a very successful business, and him and his wife are doing. And he's been doing a lot of that. He's got 4 kids. He said he's been going to a lot of football games with his kids, taking them places. They asked him about the incident, when he got caught and when he was dismissed, and he didn't really go into any detail at all about that. He just admitted that it was a mistake. People make mistakes. They didn't press him on it. After the fact, they kind of said, maybe we should have. But Dale's like, well, he said what he wanted to say, and that was that. You're not going to, pull anybody's pants down. So
yeah, well,
it's
good. Now I don't have to listen to it. Thanks, Brian.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
2 hours, Ed, that's a lot of stuff that they cover in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, Brian, don't spill your Coke. We'll be right back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
There's still some dirt track racing going on as we head towards the Thanksgiving week next week. We'll start Tuesday in Bakersfield, California, the USAC National Midgets November Classic held there, and Thomas Meserol was your feature winner there. Thursday night, they headed up to Placerville, California for night number 1 of the Hangtown 100 for the USAC National Midgets. Tanner Carrick won that preliminary feature. Friday night, they ran another event in Placerville, night number 2 for the Hangtown 100, and Buddy Kofoid was your winner there. Also Friday night, Casa Grande, Arizona at the Central Arizona Raceway. The showdown at CAR for the IMCA Modifieds, Jake O'Neill was your winner. The IMCA Stock Cars went to Bo Partain. Barberville, Florida, Volusia Speedway Park, the Emil Dale Reutemann Memorial for the UMP Modifieds. They had 52 of them there. They ran 4 500-to-win preliminary features. The winners of those events were Zeke McKenzie, Todd Nieheiser, Ethan Doshton, and Ashton Winger. Also Friday in Luxie, Alabama, the Deep South Speedway, the Hunt the Front Southern Showcase for Super Late Models night number 1. $5,000 to win, and that one was Brandon Overton. They're supposed to run a $22,000 to win event there at Deep South on Saturday. That one rained out. They're going to run that one today. Saturday night in Casa Grande, Arizona, night number 2 of the showdown at CAR, the IMCA Modifieds. Ricky Thornton Jr. was your winner. He must be hanging out back in Arizona for a while here. It's good to see him back in his roots. In the IMCA Stock Cars, it was Zach Madrid. Barberville, Florida, the final night of the Emil and Dale Reutemann Memorial, $7,000 to win for the UMP Modifieds. Ethan Dotson just had a massive ass whipping there. He won by almost 8 seconds in that modified feature there. Picked up the win. Look for him to be strong when they show up for the Dirt Car Nationals in February. That car was very strong. Ringgold, Georgia, Boyd Speedway, the 34th annual Gobbler, 10,000 win for the super late models. Dale McDowell was your winner. And finally, Placerville, California, the USAC National Midgets, the Hangtown 100 laps for the little midgets, $20,000 to win. And Buddy Kofoid picked up the win there. Next week is the big Turkey Night Grand Prix for the USAC Midgets. They finish up their week with, I believe, 3 races in California, and then their season will conclude. And that is everything this week.
And it's a short list on the asphalt side. We started the program by telling you all about the South Carolina 400 at Florence, South Carolina. Brendan Butterbean Queen was your winner. Carson Quapple ended up second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was there and ended up ninth. Upcoming events. This is a pretty big deal. The Billy Bigley Memorial this next weekend at 417. Ty Majeski will be there. We've heard different reports of other drivers. Possibility that Derek Kraus will be there. Gabe Summers. I think Michael Bilderback has talked about possibly going down there.
Yep.
And
his name is
Austin
on the
Nason.
list.
And okay, that's awesome. It's in Punta Gorda, Florida. That's where that hurricane went through not too long ago. But they're going to put this thing on, and it will be the last ever event. 30,000 to win. And speaking of upcoming events, Snowball Derby is coming up on December 4th in 2 weeks. Ty Majeski, Derek Kraus, Luke Fenhouse, Casey Johnson, Dennis Prunty will be down there with his new 604 to compete. And I don't know about other drivers locally. Did you guys hear any other ones?
Not offhand yet, no. A lot of guys are going to, I talked to Kraus the other week about going down there when we were in Florida, and he said if they got the right sponsor, they would. So they were kind of up in the air. So I guess we'll see how good they run next week. That may determine on their way home if they decide to stop there or not.
There you go. And congratulations to the 22 Kawicki Driver Development Program champion, Dylan Zampa out of California. He was the best of the 7 drivers, which included Jacob Nottestad and Riley Stenjum of Wisconsin. This was the second year that Dylan Zampa was in the program, and there have been a few guys that didn't win it till their second year. So who knows? Keep our fingers crossed. Maybe Jacob or Riley could get added to next year's lineup also. So then that's what we have in the world of short track racing for this week. And if you'd like to throw your 2 cents, okay, never mind. I was going to say we're going to open the lines, but that's not what we're going to do right now. As a matter of fact, we are going to have a couple of minutes to talk with the 2022 Slinger Speedway Super Late Model Track Champion, R.J. Braun, joining us on the telephone right now. R.J., first time you've ever been on the program. Congratulations. I'm sure this has made your life complete.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. I don't want to say you came out of nowhere because that's not really the case. You started in a 4-cylinder car and learned how to turn left and go fast. Next thing you know, we see you racing down in Florida in a super late model. It's been a kind of a quick trip for you to go from 4 cylinders to a championship in super lates.
Yeah, it's cool. I can't thank my dad enough. He's been there for me. He's given me great cars, given me a chance to travel all over the country and race at tracks that I've wanted to race at.
And you didn't even win your first super late model race at Slinger.
Nope. Yeah, we won it at Texarkana. For some reason, he let me drive the Toby car there for the first time. And we had great results. We kept going back, and we won one there.
Now, when you raced at what was it, New Smyrna, I believe it was, right, with a super late model.
Yep.
That was a little different than racing at Slinger Speedway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's way smoother. It's bigger, obviously. You carry a lot of speed. It's a neat track to go to. Your tires wear out a lot. It's a pretty cool track.
How about the driving style for those southern drivers?
Yeah, it's a little dirtier. Not what you're used to, but a lot of banging and hitting. Up here, it's a lot kinder. Yeah.
Any plans to go back?
I don't know. We'll see. This year we kind of kept it to a limited schedule. Just racing Slinger and a couple ARCA races. But I mean, next year we'll expand more and try to expand our program out and race a lot more.
I'd like to ask you a couple more questions, but we have to take a break here. Can you hang on through the break with us, RJ?
Absolutely.
All right. That's Slinger champion RJ Braun. We'll come back to him right after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
This week on NASCAR Live, the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series champion Joey Logano joined us.
Okay, am I the face of the team? Yes. Right, my name's on the car. I get it. But I can't do it on my own. No way. Right? There's not one single person on the team that can do it on their own. We all need each other. So why do I get the trophy the whole time?
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night on the Big 920 and your iHeart Radio app.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
The Milwaukee Admirals take a 3-game winning streak into a home game Tuesday night against the Manitoba Moose.
And here's a break for Sherwood. Right circle, back at her. He scored! Overtime winner!
Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30. Face-off is at 7 on the Big 920 and your iHeart Radio app.
He fooled him and he gets the winner!
We are talking with the Slinger Super Speedway Super Late Model Track Champion, RJ Braun. RJ, how old are you?
22.
22 years old. Man, that's awesome.
Old enough to drink and have fun. Do you have parties in that shop like I've heard about?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of parties.
That's awesome.
RJ, I'm interested in learning. This season here, you teamed up with Steve Apel, raced with him a little bit. I guess I just want to get a little bit of the information on how that worked out. Is that a car that you bought and Apel put together? Was it kept in Apel's shop? Or how did that whole thing work out?
So it was his car. He won, I think, 2 championships with that car. He let me test drive it 3 years ago now, and the following year I was racing that car. So it's our motor, his car. He kind of keeps it with his stuff in it, sets it up, helps me out, all that kind of stuff. So that's a
situation where it was in his shop, and you guys would go over there and work together?
Yep. So it's kept at his shop. It's just our equipment in it, kind of stuff. I keep it. I do all the maintenance on it, keep it up to date, and he just helps out with the setup and such.
You plan on continuing and doing that again next year?
Yep. So hopefully we can travel a little bit more than just keep it at Slinger. We went to La Crosse this year. We had terrible luck with that car, but that car is awesome. It's proven a lot, and it's so much fun to drive.
You guys seem to work together pretty well. I mean, as far as you two in the same shop doing that work on the car, you kind of learn from him. He kind of learns from you. Is that kind of one of those things that you kind of put your heads together and come up with decent setups?
Yeah, so we kind of bounce ideas off each other. I try something, he tries something, and then merge it together kind of thing. It's been a neat experience. I've learned so much from him. He's given me advice how to get around Slinger at other tracks like Kakana. He helped me out there. It's just neat. I go help him at the Dells and learn some stuff there, and we kind of just bring it all together and come up with a faster car every week.
That's pretty awesome. Well, RJ, from all of us at LTN, we congratulate you on your first ever Super Late Model Track Championship. It's pretty neat that your dad has won championships at that track, and now you're winning track championships. It's a pretty great tradition for the Braun family, and congratulations from all of us.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, RJ Braun, thanks for being on the program. We do appreciate it. And gentlemen, a couple things that I wanted to cover yet before the program was over. I see that they are in the process of repaving Rockingham. Did you see that? This is the taxpayer money. What do we call this? The post-COVID money or something?
The COVID money that each state got. North Carolina is using theirs for Wilkesboro and Rockingham.
Does that make any sense to either of you? I mean, we're racing
sure
people.
It does.
It does.
It makes all the sense in the world. It's a democratic world.
Yeah.
The roads must be in really good shape, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they don't need any bridges fixed.
I guess the biggest question I have about it is, so I could see them sticking money in North Wilkesboro. We talked last week that North Wilkesboro is not going to get repaved. They're going to run on the original surface, so they're going to take their money and put it into more of the infrastructure stuff. So now they're repaving Rockingham, and I guess the biggest question I have is, what are you planning on using Rockingham for? It's not the type of track, at least I don't think you're going to see them running super lates or the late model stocks on there or anything like that. Has no lights. It's over a mile in length. It's high banked. It's fast. You put new pavement on it, it's really going to be fast.
Yep.
I haven't seen any plans. The only thing I can think of is maybe we're going to run the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro in 23, and maybe they're going to move it to Rockingham in 24.
Well, that'd be pretty cool.
Rockingham getting a truck race or a race, that kind of thing, and even an Xfinity race at some point down the road. I mean, that's I think you'd start small. Maybe see ARCA come there, and maybe put a truck. It won't be next year, but maybe the year afterwards. That way, start that way and kind of move back up and see if they can get the buzz going for Rockingham like they kind of did for Wilkesboro.
It's a shame they couldn't
the unfortunate part is that they're putting new pavement on it. I mean, the cool part about Rockingham always was how abrasive it was and how it wore out tires.
Think how fast this place is going to be now.
Oh my goodness!
Todd, I wonder if the 6260 shocks will work there.
That was a great joke between Alan Kowicki and Kyle Petty, but that's another story completely. What it won't cost is $1 million to watch a race there, which is totally different than Las Vegas. The Wynn is putting up a package for 6 people to watch a Formula One race in one of their suites for the paltry sum of only $1 million, which comes out to just a little under $167,000.
Call your friends.
There we go, Dan. There's our opportunity.
I told Mike Egan we got to double down a lot on the blackjack table to make that.
We need some sponsors.
Good God.
When sixth place in the Formula One championship this year paid $12 million, I think they got something figured out.
That was amazing. How did they let that slip that they were racing for that much for 6th place?
The
announcer just let it go. Huh? Well, that's pretty good. I don't know how he did it, but pretty awesome. Gentlemen, we can't take any picks because we're just here in the off season, and that's going to last until we start racing in February again. And so we want to encourage everybody that listens to this program to tune in every week, and we will be doing this program during the off season. Tell your friends. We'd sure like to hear from you. In the meantime, for all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you tuning in. We're thinking about Michael Kluka today, who would have turned 56 years old. It's his birthday today.
Thank you, Todd.
For all of us, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Engineer is Matt Losi, and for the entire staff here at LTN, We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.